We will be going over circumference of a circle. So how you calculate the circumference of a circle, there are two formulas that you can use. The first formula is 2 times pi times the radius. And the second formula is circumference equals pi times diameter. So we're going to look at finding circumference when given the diameter, and we use d for diameter, and the formula is c equals pi times d, the diameter. So the first problem, we have the diameter as 26. So we're going to write circumference equals pi, which is 3 1400 times 26. We're going to go in the area where it says show your work, and we're going to write 3 1400, and we're going to multiply it by 26. We're going to note that we have 2 decimal places that we need to have in our final answer. And then we're going to do the multiplication. We make sure we move our decimal 2 places, starting in the right and going to the left. And our final answer is 81 6400. We're going to write that in our little box. So we have circumference equals 81 6400 centimeters. We're going to go to our second example where our diameter is 9. We're going to write 3 1400 times 9. We're going to go in the space where it says show your work, and we're going to write 3 1400. We're going to multiply it by 9. We make our little note that we're going to have 2 decimal places in our answer. We do our multiplication. We start with the right and move to the left to add our 2 decimal places. Our final answer is 28 2600. Now we're going to look at circumference of a circle when you're given the radius. So the formula that you're going to use is circumference equals 2 times pi times the radius. In our first example, we're going to use 4 8/10. So we're going to write 2 times 3 1400 times 4 8/10. We're going to go to the area where we have show your work, and we're going to write 3 1400 times 2. We're going to note that we have 2 decimal places in our answer. We're going to do the multiplication. We're going to make sure we have our 2 decimal places in the answer. Now we're going to do 6 2800 times 4 8/10. In this answer, we're going to have 3 decimal places. So we did our pi 3 1400 times 2, and now we're doing the last part where we're multiplying it by 4 8/10. We're doing the multiplication. And we get 30 144 thousandths because we have 3 decimal places in our answer. So we're going to write C, which is circumference, equals 30 and 144 thousandths. So in our second example, in our blank spots, we're going to write 2 times pi, which is 3 14/100, times 7 5/10. Now we're going to go work out the problem. We're going to first multiply pi, which is 3 14/100, times 2. We're still going to note that we have 2 decimal places in our answer. We have 6 28/100, and then we're going to multiply it by our 7 5/10. This time we're going to have 3 decimal places in our answer. We're going to do our multiplication. And we have 47 1/10 centimeters. So after going through the examples, if you have any questions, please let me know.